For March Madness 2022, I am partnering with BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Using the link in the description, you can get a 125% sign-up bonus using the promo code JOIN125. A $100 minimum deposit is necessary. Get in on the action on this NCAA tournament and March Madness season and any other sport in general, and make some money. Get in on the action with BetUS. Before we get started with this video, I want to let you guys know about my Discord server. We're talking college basketball live games, just college basketball in general, bracketology, Q&As, all that stuff. Hit the link in the description to join the Super Celtic 24 Discord server. Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to the final bracketology update of the 2022 season. Today is finally here. It is Selection Sunday. The next video that I post will be the NCAA tournament predictions videos, which is automatic. Well, you guys know it's always 100% correct, as I put in the title and all that fun stuff, but we have finally made it. As you can see, I am recording this at about 10:30 this morning. It is almost time for the final bids to get punched. The big one that we're waiting on today is Richmond versus, I want to say Davidson. I'm pretty sure that's the A-10 championship. If Davidson wins, no biggie. If Richmond wins, the bell is going to get thrown into even more chaos. But before we kind of take a look at that, I want to let you guys know about the 7,777 subscriber giveaway. You know what? I'm just going to do it tonight. I've been saying that if we hit that subscriber limit or threshold, whatever you want to call it, by midnight tonight, I'll give away a first round NCAA tournament ticket. But you know what? I'm feeling good. You guys have been supporting me all throughout this season. Hopefully we'll get some more support on the actual tournament predictions video as well. I'll give away the NCAA tournament ticket. I'll announce the winner with one of those posts or one of those notes, whatever they are, on the YouTube channel tomorrow. I'm not going to make a separate video about it, but I'll put the winner's name in the in that post or whatever, so that way you can see who ended up winning. But go ahead and enter. All you got to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications on, take a screenshot, send it to @AlexPrice24 on Instagram, and that's all you got to do to enter. You still have time. You still have, 14 hours to enter. I'll be picking the winner tomorrow, so if you got in early, you don't have a better chance of winning than somebody who just entered now. It's just fun stuff to do. But if you are not subscribed and entered into that giveaway, go ahead and do that. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look back at the bracketology. So top overall seed, Gonzaga, that one's still going to remain. That one's pretty obvious. But yesterday, Virginia Tech came from out of nowhere in the ACC. They were the 7th seed. They beat Clemson. They beat Notre Dame. They beat North Carolina. They beat Duke in the ACC championship game. They have punched their ticket. They were sitting in the next four out whenever the tournament started, and now they are safely in the field. So congratulations to you Hokie fans out there. First team out is SMU, who lost a good chance against Memphis last night to get a spot in the actual NCAA tournament. They're currently the first team out. Last team in is Texas A&M. They've been playing fantastic as of late. They've knocked out Florida. They've knocked out Auburn. They've knocked out Arkansas. And today they are playing in the SEC championship against Tennessee. If they beat Tennessee, their bid's automatically punched. If they play a great game against Tennessee, maybe that's enough to get them in. We'll kind of see how it ends up playing out. It'll be very interesting to see what the committee does with Texas A&M. But if they win the tournament, they don't even have to worry about it. They control their own destiny in that regard. But moving on down to the bubble watch, last four byes are Miami, Iowa State, Rutgers, and Indiana, who lost on a crazy buzzer beater to Iowa yesterday by Jordan Bohannon. That shot was absolutely crazy. Notre Dame, Michigan, Wyoming, and Texas A&M make up the last four in. I would say that Michigan is the cutoff there. Texas A&M, they'll probably play their way in. If not, even if they don't, I think they'll probably make it. But it all kind of depends on what happens with Richmond. I feel like Wyoming would be the team that falls out if Richmond were to have a bid thief and actually win the A-10 championship. But we'll kind of see what happens with that. Then, honestly, I don't see any of those other 8 teams making the tournament. SMU, Xavier, Oklahoma, Wake Forest. And then you got Dayton, BYU, St. Louis, and VCU. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with those teams come Selection Sunday, come 6 o'clock tonight. But I just don't really see any of those final 8 teams actually making the tournament. So taking a look at the movement, though, there's been a ton. Actually, you can't really see a ton on that left side. But over on that right side, you got Providence down to a 5. Texas A&M new to the field as the 12. Houston up to a 4. Iowa State down to an 11. St. Peter's clinched their tournament bid. They are up to a 14. Then over in the Midwest Regional, we got Texas down to a 6, Miami down to an 11, Creighton up to an 8 after a great run in the Big East tournament. Villanova ended up winning that last night, which also got a shout out Villanova and Kansas for winning their conference tournaments. And then I got to mention Kentucky. We just got handled by Tennessee yesterday. Kellen Grady was having an absolutely terrible game. Don't know what's happening with him. He's been in a little bit of a slump, so we'll kind of see what happens. Hopefully he can get out of it in time for the tournament, but we'll kind of see what happens with that. Then we got North Carolina down to a 9, LSU up to a 5. LSU fired Will Wade yesterday, which was pretty big news a day before the tournament begins. Then we have Notre Dame down to a 12. Virginia Tech new to the field. Congratulations to the Hokies as the 10 seed. And then you got Colgate moving down to the 15 line. So let's take a look at the bracket, but before we do, we got to come up with our 2-word food item for the day. I want to see who's actually watching the video and not just skipping to the end to see who my Final Four picks are, or my national championship pick is. So if you are watching at this stage in the video, you know what our 2-word food item is going to be right now? Let's do a Oreo cake. I drove by Dairy Queen yesterday, thought about getting me an Oreo cake to celebrate, but ultimately didn't. But if you're watching this video, comment Oreo cake below, that nice ice cream cake that Dairy Queen's got. I am craving that right now. But anyway, back to the bracketology. Let's go with Gonzaga, obviously being the winner of the Texas Southern and Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, whatever you want to call it. Then we got San Diego State pulling off the 9/8 upset over Murray State. I like Murray State a lot. I just don't agree with, or I don't like that matchup against San Diego State. If maybe they were matched up with like Seton Hall, I'd probably pick them there. But against San Diego State, they've been playing great basketball. I got San Diego State moving on. Connecticut, I do think can beat UAB. Then we're going to go with Arkansas moving on past Vermont. Indiana, I think with the way that they're playing, I think they could pull off the 11/6 upset over St. Mary's. Then we're going to go with Texas Tech beating Montana State, Colorado State beating San Francisco, and then Purdue moving on past Georgia State. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Gonzaga advancing on past San Diego State, Arkansas moving on past Connecticut. Then we are going to go with Texas Tech moving on past Indiana, along with Purdue past Colorado State. But then for a spot in the Elite Eight, the past couple of bracketologies that I've done, I've been picking Arkansas to upset Gonzaga. But with the way that Arkansas played against Texas A&M last night, I'm not too sure. I am going to go with Gonzaga pulling off the victory there against Arkansas. And they will face Purdue, who I have beating Texas Tech. Will be very interesting to see who ends up winning that game there. But Gonzaga versus Purdue for a spot in the Final Four. Purdue is playing in the Big Ten Championship today against Iowa. That could have an impact on my ceiling for that team if they end up winning that game whenever I make my NCAA tournament picks tonight. But for right now, I'm going to go with Gonzaga. Actually, do I want to do it? You know what? Let's have some fun. I'm going to go with Purdue. I think that the battle down low will be very interesting with Zach Edey and Trayvon Williams against Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren. But then up top, I do think that Jaden Ivey has the means to the end to get Purdue in the Final Four. So I'm going to have Purdue advancing on past there. Maybe we'll see what happens in the actual tournament predictions video tonight to see if I actually have them winning. But moving on down to the bottom right regional, we have Baylor advancing on past Norfolk State. Creighton, I do think, can beat North Carolina. Then I'm going to go with LSU here, but I just don't believe in Wyoming or Notre Dame, either team, to win that game. LSU is a team ripe for a first-round upset, but I just don't see it happening against Notre Dame or Wyoming. We got Illinois advancing on past Princeton. 11-seed Rutgers pulling off the upset over Alabama. Then we got Villanova moving on past Longwood. Virginia Tech pulling off the 10/7 over Ohio State. And then Auburn beating Colgate. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Baylor beating Creighton, Illinois pulling off the victory against LSU, Villanova beating Rutgers, and then I'm going to go with an upset pick here. I am going to go with the Hokies, continuing their hot run. Maybe this is recency bias, but I got the Hokies. They've been playing great basketball lately. Auburn is 5-4 in their last 9 games, I do believe. They are a team that's kind of been not struggling, but not nearly as good as they were kind of in the midseason. I got Virginia Tech pulling off the upset. Baylor versus Illinois, I do have Baylor moving on to the Elite Eight, where they will face Villanova beating Virginia Tech. And then for a spot in the Final Four, I'm going to go with Villanova. They've been playing great basketball as of late, have Big East Player of the Year, Colin Gillespie, on the team. I got 3-seed Villanova advancing out of that region. So, moving on over to the bottom right regional, Kansas is going to beat Cal State Fullerton. Then we are going to go with Marquette over Memphis, 9/8. Then we're going to go with Iowa here, moving on past South Dakota State, UCLA beating New Mexico State, Texas beating Miami, Wisconsin, oh, if I can pick Texas, there we go, Wisconsin beating Akron, Loyola Chicago pulling off the 10-7 upset over USC, and then Kentucky beating Jacksonville State. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, Kansas will move on past Marquette, Iowa will beat UCLA, then we're going to go with Wisconsin here advancing on past Texas, and then Kentucky beating Loyola Chicago. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, Kansas versus Iowa, I'm going to do it. I'm pulling off the upset here. I said it in yesterday's Bracketology. Kansas won the Big 12 championship, but Iowa is playing for the Big 10 championship as well. I got Iowa pulling off the 5-1 upset, and they will face, I'm doing it. I'm picking Wisconsin over Kentucky. Kentucky's shooting woes make me nervous. I don't know if I can go with Kentucky right now, which sets up a huge matchup here. Big 10 championship. Big 10 matchup here. Iowa versus Wisconsin for a spot in the Final Four. I'm going to go with the team that's hot right now. I'm going to go with Iowa as a 5 seed, advancing on to the Final Four out of that regional. So up first, we got Purdue, Villanova, and Iowa, a 2, a 3, and a 5 so far, which sets up our last regional up here. Arizona will beat Wright State or Bryant. Then we're going to go with TCU beating Seton Hall. Then we're going to go with an upset pick here. We are going with either Michigan or Texas A&M to upset Providence. Then we're going to go with Houston beating Chattanooga. Boise State, congratulations to them. I forgot to mention them. They won the Mountain West Championship. Tennessee will beat St. Peter's. Then we're going to go with Michigan State beating Davidson and Duke over Delaware. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Arizona moving on past TCU. I'm going to go with another upset pick here. I'm going with the winner of Michigan and Texas A&M. Maybe it'll be Texas A&M, but I think that either team could beat Houston. Then we're going to go with Tennessee here, moving on past Boise State, and then Michigan State pulling off the 7-2 upset over Duke. Duke just, I don't know what's going on with them, but they are just not playing like an Elite Eight team right now, playing like an elite team with the talent that they have, which sets up for a spot in the Elite Eight. Arizona, I do think will put an end to the Cinderella run of either Michigan or Texas A&M. I got Arizona advancing on to the Elite Eight, where they will face Tennessee, the Volunteers, for a spot in the Final Four. These two teams played earlier this year, with Tennessee pulling off a 4-point victory at home on a neutral floor. Both these teams are playing hot. Arizona won the Pac-12 championship. Tennessee is playing for the SEC championship. I am going to go with the Wildcats, though, of Arizona advancing on to the Final Four. So that sets up our Final Four here. We have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 5 seed here in the Final Four. Up first, we have Purdue versus Villanova. I am going to go with the Boilermakers here of Purdue. I do think that they can make the national championship game. I do think that they're elite contenders like that. I got them advancing on to the Final Four, where they will face Arizona. I don't think that Iowa will be able to pull off the upset there, but Arizona versus Purdue for the national championship in this final bracketology update. I don't know what's going to happen in my actual tournament predictions video later tonight, but for right now, Purdue versus Arizona, Pac-12 champion versus potential Big 10 champion in Purdue. I am going to go, who do I want to go with? You know what? Let's boiler up. We're going to go with the Purdue Boilermakers winning it all. Why not let it fly here in this final bracketology update? So those are my predictions for the NCAA tournament based off of this final bracketology update. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comment section below. Let me know your own predictions in the comments as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all tonight for the actual tournament predictions video.